Hey, what's up, guys? It's me, Eddie, and I am back with another episode of Rent a Peak. And today's episode is episode 6, which, honestly, yeah, it's a pretty... I gotta say, Kazuya was actually pretty bearable this episode. None of the reactions he had are out of bounds of what I feel like a normal guy would do. I mean, there was that one really cringy moment on the bus, but I'll get to that in a moment. The character development has been phenomenal, and I'm very much impressed by how much Kazuya has grown. So, starting the episode off immediately, I gotta say, these two booked a really nice hotel. Like, honestly, I would not mind staying at this hotel myself if this was a real hotel. So yeah, it's pretty good. I really like it. It's got a nice view. It's got nice little decorations. It's pretty great. Anyhow, I normally hate when Kazuya fantasizes about what Mizuhara is going to say to him or what crazy thing he and Mizuhara are going to do. I've always found those moments really cringy, but today, when Mizuhara was standing in front of him and like blushing and trying to talk, I honestly can't really blame him for jumping to the wrong conclusions. Like, for once here, I feel like he's actually, that honestly isn't a completely wrong assumption to jump to. I mean, with context, yes, it kind of is, but out of context, I feel like it's not entirely nonsensical for him to jump to that sort of conclusion. She really was like Sumi back there. I love these little blurbs, by the way. They bring in a lot of entertainment, and honestly, they just kind of spice up the anime in a lot of ways. I feel like it adds a bit of character to the show. Of course, Yaemori, the little gremlin, booked a single room for the two of them, and it's going to be far too expensive to book another room on the same day. So, yeah, they're kind of stuck together like that, which, on one hand, and I really like about this is that they're not stuck together by circumstance. There's someone actually setting them up like this. So, it's not some cheesy soap opera moment. This is like Yaemori's plan in action. So, that... honestly, that was really funny. Yaemori, you absolute goat. Even when she's not in the episode, she continues to be awesome. Yaemori, what a Chad. Yaemori, absolute queen. She is hilarious. That's exactly what the anime needed. By the way, I was actually a little confused when they said that they'd already slept in the same room before, and then, before they showed me the season 1 flashbacks. I mean, not only was it 3 years ago, but I've basically scrubbed, like, most of Season 1 out of my mind, so... Because, there's not a lot that I still remember about it. Maybe a few key moments, like the moment Kazuya jumped overboard on the ship, I think, or something like that, to save Mizuhara. Some of the fights he got in with his friends over that. Grandma plays gotcha games. I went back and watched my Season 2 review yesterday, by the way, so... And my memory was a lot more fresh back then, so yeah. The joys of filming. I've actually filmed quite a few films with other people before, and some of them are actually up on the channel. I mean, they're pretty short. They're honestly more like videos, but the fact that there's other people in them at all has probably got to count for something. I haven't made too many of those, obviously, but I do have films, essentially. I do have things like movies and skits that I've made before that I guess got to count for something in terms of this sort of stuff. Daytime filming was pretty uneventful, and we got a little scene of Mizuhara coming back home and Kazuya semi-simping for her in a way. I don't want to say simping because honestly, I feel like what he was doing isn't really out of bounds for what a normal guy would be like in terms of that situation. After that little intercut moment, I guess we go back to nighttime filming, and this is the big doozy, one of the big doozies of this episode I kind of want to talk about. A part of me wants to say, of course Kazuya would think that Mizuhara would want to confess to him at a time like this, but to be honest, I can't really say that. The way Mizuhara approached him, it's not entirely unreasonable for someone to think that that's what they're trying to do. Obviously, I knew that Mizuhara wasn't going to confess to Kazuya, but the vibes of this moment, I can't really blame him. I honestly had no clue what they were going to try to talk about, and it turns out it's just Mizuhara telling Kazuya about her grandpa, which, good going, anime. You didn't do anything weird, so good going. Oh, and another thing I want to say is that the filming scenes are absolutely gorgeous. The entire first half of this, and even the second half of this anime is just beautifully animated. The animation has always been pretty amazing consistently throughout the entire show. The art direction, the art is pretty well done. the guy who made the girl, the person who made the art for this series, the animation director for this series, also went on to direct Oshinoko. So yeah. Anyhow, most of the times I see Kazuya get horny over Mizuhara, I always like cringe, and I don't skip the sections because I'm afraid I'm gonna miss something interesting. But the way it went from him like thinking about Mizuhara and like their time together and slowly sort of drifting into the horny, that honestly felt really natural, and the way it wasn't completely over the top honestly made me not find it cringe. Like the situation wasn't that bad. The situation allows for it. I can't really blame him for getting horny there. I feel like I would too in that sort of situation. Also, has it really been 3 years now? Like, my god, the anime is following us in real time. It's been 3 years since season 1 aired, and it's been 3 years since the start of that show. So, my god, this is what have the two of them been doing all these 3 years? Have they? I think they've still just been renting each other and doing all that crazy stuff, right? Is that really how they spent these last 3 years? My god. Also, as I said last week, that bit about Mizuhara like ascending to somewhere that he can't reach really hits close home for me. Like, here I am, someone who wants to be famous myself. Not only have I made less achievements than freaking Kazuya, but it just, you see I don't know, I guess a lot of my friends are also, right? They're not rising up to anything like super impressive, but the fact that someone else is getting up there at all is, Am I turning into Kazuya? I can't do that. I can't turn into Kazuya. I'm supposed to be cool, right? Less said about this, the better, I guess. Another thing I want to point about this episode is apparently that Mizuhara was the one that could not sleep, while Kazuya was the one that got a good night's rest. And I really like that. Two things I like about that. First off, it shows that Mizuhara isn't some perfect goddess the way the anime has kind of treated her thus far. Because, the anime kind of has a tendency to put her on a pedestal. And it shows that, she's a human, she has flaws. Whereas with Kazuya, it's basically, it shows that he's growing as a person. He's not so completely and utterly horny that he can't sleep at all. Like, he's not that pathetic. Kazuya is growing as a person, even if growing as a person means he's so tired that he could actually fall asleep, which is, you could fall asleep at all. That's instead of being so horny you can't sleep. That's pretty impressive. Also, we did get a nice bath scene, the way Kazuya imagined it, which went exactly the way Kazuya imagined it after they get up. So the anime knows what the customers want. What can I say? I guess the one moment I genuinely found Kazuya to be I consider Kazuya to be simping, was when he said, when they were going back home on the bus, and he was like, what, is this the famous morning after? First off, I agree with the fish here. What the heck even is that? Second off, Kazuya, dude, come on. Come on, man. Come on. I do have to say, though, Chizuru does dress really pretty. Like, that white dress, and I don't know if I've ever said this before, but we really need to start dressing better again, people. Like, I'm sick of Walmart fashion. Why can't we dress fancy again, Okay, I guess this only applies to girls. I was about to say if we could all dress like Mizuhara, but I realized we guys can't really dress like... You get what I'm saying, though. If we all dressed really fancy and really impressive, I feel like everything would just look a lot better. You know what I mean? Big ramblings about society aside, though, that's actually a very good question. Where is Mammy? Because outside of a few cameos, and little Mammy just sort of walking by and saying, oh, hi, I exist, sort of moments, we haven't seen her actually do anything that much lately. So where is Mammy? She's gotta start appearing again soon, right? Anyhow, after all that, it looks like poor Mizuhara was too tired from all the filming and finally ends up falling asleep on Kazuya's shoulder. That scene was truly beautifully animated, and the flashbacks Kazuya has right before we lead up to that scene, thinking about the times they had making the film, was really beautiful and heartwarming too. Honestly, this movie arc was really impressive overall, and not only am I a little disappointed it's over, but a part of me is a little worried, like, what's gonna happen from here on in, right? Because you know what the manga readers say, it's all downhill from here, it's all downhill after the movie arc, so... All worries aside, I was I was both surprised and not surprised to see that Ruka had arrived on the train when they got to the bottom of the mountain and at the bus station. Like, Ruka, first off, do you know how much money you just wasted on that little trip right there, right? But then again, it's Ruka, so, I mean, are we really all that surprised? Of course Yaimori folded after a short little interrogation because it's Yaimori, let's be completely honest here. The girl looks kind of weak to that. The girl looks weak to pressure. Ruka calling Mizuhara a thought, I believe she said bitch in Japanese, was absolutely hilarious too, by the way. Just love that bit. Looks like next episode is going to be about Ruka's birthday. You can't say no to that face. It definitely is going to be about. And yeah, well, I guess the soap opera returns next episode because honestly, this one, not a lot of soap opera shenanigans. It was actually surprisingly decent. And that's the episode. Seriously, I thought this episode was really good. I really like this episode. I wish the entire anime was like this. And yeah, that's all there is for this episode. Honestly, pretty decent episode. I know it's all downhill from here after the movie arc, or maybe it continues to be decent till the end of season 3, and then it's, if there is a season 4, it's gonna head downhill from there. But all that aside, ignoring the future, what we've had in these last couple episodes in this season so far, I gotta say it's really been pretty good. So yeah, that's that. Again, as I have said, if you haven't subscribed already, please do so. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment if you haven't done so already. Because if you don't, you will become as cringe as Kazuya. And there's no character development to make him so that you'll start making cool movies or anything like that. So yeah, that's the end of that. The sky's up, and I am really surprised at how decent this anime has been thus far. I came in with low expectations, but my god, I regret it. The anime's not that bad. Maybe I'm in for an unpleasant surprise in the next couple episodes, but it is what it is. Anyhow, I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye.